Hello everyone. Today I will be presenting an evaluation of the ACM Code of Ethics. The ACM Code of Ethics is a set of principles that ensure ethical conduct in computing professionals. It's very well known in the tech industry as an aid in ethical decision making. The code was written in 1992 and since then was updated in 2018 because of the vast changes made in technology since its creation. These principles have only made themselves more relevant with the years. A great example of an ethical dilemma is Amazon's AI mistake. They designed an artificial intelligence tool that would go through a stack of applicants and choose the best ones. To create this tool, they used software engineer applicants from a 10-year period as their data. Due to the nature of the tech industry and its lack of women, the tool taught itself to deduct points off any application that had words like Women's Institution or Society of Women Engineers. This is not the only occasion in which something like this has occurred, and it surely will not be the last. They of course caught this during the development of the tool and never used it on actual recruiting. But if they had, it would have been in direct violation of Principle 1.4. Principle 1.4 goes into a very important topic in computing professionals. It states, "Be fair and take action not to discriminate." Computing professionals should foster fair participation of all people, including those of underrepresented groups. Prejudicial discrimination on the basis of age, color, disability, ethnicity, family status, gender identity, labor union membership, military status, nationality, race, religion or belief, sex, sexual orientation, or any other inappropriate factor is an explicit violation of the code. The reason why I would like to highlight this issue is because the tech industry is infamous for being dominated by men. As you can see on the chart on the screen, men make up more than 50% of employees in these tech companies: Amazon, Facebook, Google, and Microsoft. This principle promotes equality, tolerance, respect, and a proactive call to create inclusive spaces for others. In the code's update in 2018, they added a new language to this principle to include virtual spaces as somewhere where harassment can take place, acknowledging cyberbullying as an issue that has come to fruition since 1992. ACM has many chapters around the globe promoting a positive impact in computing. The ACM Code of Ethics purpose is to guide ethical decision-making to all computing professionals globally. ACM used its many global members to help create this Code of Ethics. Their input for the update in 2018 was invaluable and helped diversify these principles to ensure that all members are represented. The update was revised and published thanks to all the contributions made worldwide. Globally, this code is still a standard and adopted by many professionals. The state of technology in 1992 was very different compared to the present. Technology is everywhere and in most facets of our lives now. Even our government's infrastructure relies on technology. The truth is that most people, computing professionals or other, use technology on a regular basis. We work, study, and even use technology as entertainment. Even our children's lives are dependent on new technology. ACM made many changes to the code that better reflects our time. This is very important. A document like this cannot be static. It must be able to be critiqued and revised because it is not just for the computing professional, but for the public to understand what to expect from new technology. In this next video, we can look at the ethical issues within AI, a perfect example of why a code such as ACM Code of Ethics is necessary.
But as artificial intelligence moves out of the research labs and into the real world, more and more people are becoming aware of some ethical concerns that kind of go along with some of these applications. So there are three big ethical concerns with artificial intelligence. The first one involves what we actually use artificial intelligence for. Normally when we develop AI, in the lab, we're developing it for reasons we think are good. So we're using video tracking of people in healthcare settings to make sure they're recovering from an injury or something like that. But the same technology can be taken out and put into smart bombs to track people, or be used by governments to track their citizens as they move around, which is sort of an Orwellian, spooky future, which we may not necessarily agree with. So we need to figure out, when we're developing these AI algorithms, what are the potential outcomes that we don't necessarily expect. The second ethical concern with AI has to do with who has access to AI. Increasingly, AI has to run on bigger and faster and more expensive machines, and the only people who can afford those machines are these big international companies, which means that fewer and fewer people actually can control the destiny of artificial intelligence. And we don't necessarily want that. We want all of us to kind of have a say in how AI will be used to benefit our society in the future. The third ethical concern that I see with artificial intelligence is that artificial intelligence doesn't exactly think the way that we do, and it doesn't necessarily share our values. So the risk isn't that AI will be malicious against us. The risk is that AI will do exactly what we tell it to do, and it'll do it in a way we don't expect. The problem is that we tell artificial intelligence what we want, but we define it in a very vague way. And the AI just wants to make us happy, and so it'll find a way to do what we tell it to do, but because it doesn't share our values, it'll do things that are unexpected and kind of bad. And the obvious consequence of this is stuff like bias. If we don't tell artificial intelligence that we don't appreciate bias against certain ethnic groups or genders and so on, the AI might inherently adopt bias from whatever data it gathers. So we need to figure out ways to limit that effect, to make sure that the data we provide to the AI is as free of bias as possible, and also to look at the behavior of the AI and sort of mitigate against the risks that this sort of alien mind behavior causes. I think we all need.
Technology has the potential on having devastating effects on an individual's life. We've heard the stories time and time again of people who can't get past job interviews or are judged constantly because of something that's online about them. Responsible computing is not just ethical, it is necessary. ACM as an organization strives to make a positive impact with computing. The ACM Code of Ethics for professionals and the public alike is necessary to promote innovation in a harmless way.